Hey guys, I'm Mallory Varner, and I am back again with part two of this segment with Orafol on creating the holiday spirit. So, I am creating different signage that we can use for the Christmas season on this one using Oracal 631 and 651 and layering it for you so you can kind of see something different to do. Be sure and stay tuned at the end of this video where you can find out how to win $500. Hey guys, I'm Mallory Varner and I am the Vinyl Decorating Segment Manager. And this is part two of our three-part series with Orafol. So I am showing off the most popular products that all of you are familiar with and just kind of throwing in some extra tips and tricks and things I've learned along the way or questions that all of you have asked me periodically throughout my years with GSG. Karen is here. She introduced herself on part one. If you want to say hello again.
Hey guys, so glad to be here.
So she is going to ask some questions, chime in, and help me out throughout. She is a crafter herself and been in the industry a long time, so she will definitely lend her expertise throughout. So I get asked, can I intermix some media? Do I have to do all 651? What if I have 651 or 631 or 641, 6510? Can I mix all that up? And you absolutely can, especially when it's an indoor sign and it's something like what I'm going to make today. So I'm going to make a Christmas sign where there's not going to be sun exposure or a ton of exposure. I'm going to put it out for a little over a month. I know that drives everyone nuts, but I put my Christmas stuff out because we typically don't host Thanksgiving. So my Christmas gets going right after Halloween. So I go ahead and put it out. So mine's going to be out maybe 2 months. My birthday's the day after Christmas. So Christmas is boxed up and done the morning of my birthday. So literally 2 months it's out. So I am not as worried about it. This is going to be something that I'm going to set on my entryway table as just a sign that Karen actually helped design for me. So I'm going to intermix some different colors. I'm also going to layer some of them, which I think is something I don't see very often. So I'm excited to show y'all that today. Now, I am one that likes to eyeball and just lay it out, not one that is big on measuring everything. My husband wants to kill me when I do these. Anything, he doesn't let me hang up anything in the house because I like I said, just eyeball and put it where I think it should go on the thing. So the first product that I'm going to be using is 631. So I've used a clear application tape. I already have this mask. And I apologize. We were talking in one of our other series that we are horrible in the industry about going back and forth between tape and mask. So it is the same thing in this video as I talk about it. I apologize again. I always pull at an angle like that. Want to make sure you're not just like ripping it really fast. Make sure it actually adheres on the different mask. I'm using a medium tech mask with this right now. I'm using the clear just because I want to see kind of how it looks. I showed in part one the actual masking tape. It looks like masking tape. So it's kind of more of that paper. And I used that in the first one because I wanted to show how you could write on it, line it up to measure it, things like that. So this is actually already painted and treated, but I have tested it. I am a big proponent of making sure that you test all your materials prior to selling a job, or if you are going to be sending it out. If you are a wholesaler and you just cut vinyl for people or cut projects and then they adhere it, make sure that you test it out on different substrates so you can give your recommendation. This I got from a craft store. It's super cute. I really love how it has the gray around it. I have gray in every shade, I think, around my house. Gray and teals all over. So this will match perfectly in my entryway for Christmas. We're using, I think it's a burgundy with 631. And the main difference with 631 and 651, 631 is more of a temporary. So you wouldn't want to put 631 outside. It's not as aggressive. So it's not going to be, it might take a little bit of your paint off the wall if you just put it on there, obviously. But if not, it's great if you want to put something up temporarily. You know, I've put it up on like our doors, like take your shoes off. It's a thing in Michigan. You don't walk in anyone's house with your shoes on. And I have white carpet. So 6 kids that aren't the best listeners. So I definitely put that on my door when we're having a party. I've put it outside where I just say, please place your shoes on the mat when you walk in. because I thought it was weird being from Texas, but apparently it is not that weird when you live in Michigan. Everyone does it. So it's great, 631 for that, because I can remove it the next day without messing up our house and making my husband not very happy because I have vinyl everywhere. I used this. We did during COVID, a shamrock scavenger hunt throughout the neighborhood. So everyone had to put shamrocks throughout their yard and you counted them. And it was a cute little thing for the kids to just drive around and see. So I put them all over our mailbox and our windows and doors. And I used 631, and it was great because it just came right off and didn't leave a big mess for us to have to clean up and have shamrocks all year round. We didn't need it. So, all right. Also with this clear, the reason I like it is you can see it's still very, very, very tacky. So you can reuse this if you want to a couple of times. You don't have to just throw it away like I just did. You can definitely reuse it. So we'll get started with that. And then we're just going to add in some gold and silver. The gold and silver that I'm going to add in are 651. Just because they have the color that I liked. So we are going to kind of layer these up.
So Mallory, when we're talking about the different types of application tapes or mask or whatever you want to call it, there's high tack and medium tack. You're using medium tack. It does a good job of picking up the small details in your larger image, right?
Yes, and that's a good question. I think you always want to check the manufacturer's recommendations. They will tell you what they recommend. Go GSG.com. We have it in the documents. You want to just look and make sure that what you're adding is what they recommend. If you go, let's say, if I did really high tack and this was painted, it would rip off. It possibly could rip off the background on it. And you want to make sure you're not doing that. So you just want to make sure. So I'm reusing that tape real quick. You want to make sure that you're using what they recommend. If you go too low though, let's say you go to like a low tack and you have more of an aggressive vinyl, it's not going to pick it up. So when you go to pull it off, it's going to stay right on that carrier sheet. So you want to make sure that, like I said, you're using what they recommend. You can there's usually, you can go between medium or high or something like that. You can kind of get away with it sometimes, but I definitely would recommend and then have that one on board. So I am purposely layering these a little off from each other because I want it kind of to give a little bit of a dimensional look. I'm not doing it. I am doing it actually on purpose. With this substrate, I can kind of use the hard side instead of the soft side if I want it to push down a little bit harder and make sure that, it's really getting to the other one. And then another thing that I get asked a lot is what if I have like a big piece of application tape and I've already cut my images? I don't know if you can see that. I just line them up with it and then you can cut through there. So you can put them all together. You don't have to necessarily do one piece of application tape for every time you have a piece of vinyl you need to do it on. So you can kind of mix and match with that and line them up together if you have like a 24-inch piece, or you can go ahead and cut them into strips and do it individually. It's whatever you feel the most comfortable with.
So the advantage of using the felt side of the squeegee is that it prevents scratching. So if you're adhering vinyl to a material that's got a surface that you don't want to scratch, you definitely want to use the felt side. But on the flip side, like Mallory said, if you're layering vinyl on top of each other and you want it to give the dimensional look, or you really want to press it down, that's when you use the plastic side of your squeegee.
Yeah, and I recommend those a lot. I would make sure that you have, both the one that has the felt and the hard side. You just never know. I mean, it's great. You can just flip it over and whatever. And I know I've been in the industry a long time. It's very easy to just pull out a credit card and we've all done it. When you are in a hurry and you just need to put something on really quickly. That's definitely not recommended. So make sure that when you do that that you just carry a squeegee with you. I have them all over our house in my backpacks for work everywhere. So you want to keep those with you for sure. So the bad part about someone like me that did not measure perfectly, this design was a little bit too big for it. So if you just, everyone's always afraid, I think, to cut their design after they've already cut it on the cutter. And you absolutely can. If it's a straight thing like that, it's really simple to just cut it off. The little thing was a little too much, but definitely doesn't mess up the design at all. It looks cute still. You don't have to think you got to redo the whole thing. And you want to mess it, like change it up a bit. The other thing I always tell people when you're doing, like, I'm adding these stars on here and different stuff. And in part 1, I added bats. Just because your design shows the bats right there doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that every single time. Get creative. That's why we're all in this space, right? We're creative people and we want to see what all they can do. So if I think, like, I put it on there and I don't know how many trade shows we go to and we think for sure this layout's going to look great, and we get there and in person it doesn't look anything like what we expected. That's okay. You mix and match and figure out what looks good. So same thing with these designs. I thought, when you look at the design, because we are offering those for all of you, you're going to see that it's lined up a little more straight and rigid. And then when I laid it out, I'm like, you know what? I kind of wanted to put some stars here, some there. So you can definitely mix and match that. And you don't have to do just that. Once you see it on the substrate, you might want to mix it up a little bit. So Karen designed these for me, and I think, and she did it without me sending pictures of the substrate. So it was pretty awesome how good they all turned out. I'm really excited about the next one as well. It is a sign for our front porch, one of those tall ones. And I've loved those forever. Just am too cheap to buy them. So I was super excited to make one for this series. So
I had a lot of fun. You gave me some great ideas.
it's definitely fun. And I'm really excited that every one of these, I know that's a lot of series and a lot of great suppliers doing this, and everyone has their designs uploaded. So take advantage for the holidays and use designs that are already there for sure. I think sometimes we try to reinvent the wheel, and I think it's pretty nice to just have it done for us. We're all busy, and for design to already be done, I know our designer Bridget would love it. Every time I had something already done, not always having to ask her, except she does love this segment. It's fun. It's a little more exciting and creative and girly. All right, so I've got everything on there. And you can also intermix, like if I wanted to label, like dot the I in Christmas or anything like that. I don't know if y'all can see. It has all the different gold and silver. And then the maroon burgundy in the middle with the 631. So cute sign that can just sit out. And then great thing about vinyl, you can always peel this off and do something fun for next year. Or you can put your name on it and have it out all year round. So I think that turned out really good. I'm not a typical Christmas. I do a lot of gold, silver, and then a lot of deep burgundy. So, okay. So with this one, I tried all the different ones because I was really excited and wanted to be using this for other projects in the future. So I tried 631, 651, 6510, 851. Those were the ones we were going to be using today. So I just put them on there, made sure it stuck okay. After I used the application tape and I pulled it off, I made sure it didn't come with me. That with the application tape, once I use that squeegee, that's usually what I test when it's something like a cup or a coaster or something like that. You can kind of, if you like, just rub on top of it, like with a rag or something like that, and it starts to peel up really quickly. It's not going to adhere good. Sometimes some of those really slick surfaces, when they're overly treated. The other thing with this that I wanted to test, besides that it would adhere okay, is that it wouldn't rip off the paint on this. So when I do want to reuse it, you weren't going to see Merry Christmas and stars everywhere. So I just did that and just cut out. I did circles. Some people do squares, triangles, whatever, and just something simple. Or even if you just, and I just cut off the end or a circle or anything you have. I use, just whatever scraps you have, you can always use and just put it on there, peel it off. see if you see the paint on the back of it. Doke. Well, stay tuned for, or go check out part 3, where I use 651 and the latest 851 to add a little bling to our typical design. I love how that sign turned out. I think it is going to be awesome in our entryway, and I love the gold and silver mixed together. So, to be honest, I was a little nervous how it was going to work out, but I think it worked out great. If you haven't already, check out part 1 of this series with Orafol, or part 3. You can just scroll on down and check that out. We're, like I said, in the middle of this Creating the Holiday Spirit series, and I am doing the Orafol one. So enough of me talking. How do you win $500? Well, you need to get crafty and create a project for me. Show me what you're making. And what you need to do is you can either email me at vinyldecorating@gogsg.com, or you can hashtag Creating the Holiday Spirit and tag me on Instagram and Facebook at GSG Vinyl Decorating. Then I need to know what Oracal product, or a full product, did you use in your project, and any other details you want to give me. So definitely get working on that, get your creativity flowing, and you'll be entered to win $500. If you haven't already, check out some of our other segments with some of our other industry leaders and partners in our Creating the Holiday Spirit series. Thanks for watching.